The more that I speak to young guys, the more that I realise that women are in fact not the problem. You know, growing up as a 16, 17, 18-year-old young boy, as a teenager many years ago, and first hearing about the red pill community, and I'm not here to disregard the red pill community, because there's actually many good aspects and many good teachings and things that they portray that's very beneficial for young men. But there's certain lessons that are quite negative, and especially when you're a young guy that has pretty much non-existent, limited experience with the opposite sex. You paint this picture, you paint this narrative in your head of women are promiscuous, especially Western women, and young men are the catch, and women have too high standards, and feminism has destroyed everything, and it's destroyed the dynamics. And of course some of that is true, and don't get me wrong, there is a contingent of females that are promiscuous and are after frivolous pursuits and are not on the path they should be, and are not traditional like they used to be. I get all of that, and some of that still remains true. The problem with the red pill, and the problem with what we've been taught, is that young men are perfect. Young men, we should have what we want. There's nothing wrong with us. If you cast your minds back to 100 years ago, 16, 17-year-olds were storming the beaches of Normandy with a bayonet and rifle for Queen and country. Today, they're sat at home jerking off to pornography in their parents' basement, eating processed foods, overweight, and they wonder why they're not a catch. They wonder why they're still virgins. They wonder why they're not captivating to the opposite sex. It's not rocket science. We moan and complain that women don't take self-accountability, that they don't take responsibility for their action, and don't understand the long-term ramifications of what they're doing today, which is completely true for some of them. But the same has to be said for men. The same has to be said for men. And what you guys don't understand is that the more that I speak to young men, the more that I speak to the average guy, I think to myself, golly gosh, we're actually the problem. Men have become so docile, so submissive, so weak, that it naturally lowers the standard. It naturally brings down the quality of female, because when there's no masculine men, or men that operate in their masculine imperative or their state, well, naturally you're not going to find feminine women anymore, because they don't have anything to lean on. The whole purpose of being a feminine woman is for her to be in her feminine state. She is attracted to, and she finds a man that's masculine, but there's so little pool to choose from, because the average guy isn't masculine. The average guy is docile. The average guy is weak. He doesn't exercise. He's most likely overweight. He doesn't earn much money. He doesn't have many skills. His social skills are absolutely in the gutter. And then he sits there, has the victim mentality, moans, whines, complains, and he wonders why he's a virgin. And, for a long time, the male loneliness epidemic that we blame women for, I used to blame women as well. And don't get me wrong, women are not perfect. The standard of women and the quality has dropped, I concur. But I blame men more than I blame women. And it used to be the other way around. I used to blame women for the downfall of men, not anymore. The more I speak to you guys, the more that I speak to young men and the average young guy, the more I realise, fuck man, it's actually our fault. It's actually our fault. We've become so weak, we've dropped our guard completely. We haven't behaved or acted in a manly way or a manner. What has actually happened to men? And of course, there is a multitude of reasons for that. But genuinely, heart to heart, what has happened to men? What has happened to masculinity? What has honestly happened to masculinity? And most of it comes down to the mental side of things. Of course, physically, you have to hit the gym and you have to be imposing to an extent. But a lot of it comes down to mental fortitude. A lot of it comes down to how we perceive reality as a man. Everything is so soft, and it's okay to shed a tear, so it's okay to cry, and don't worry, you don't have to go through hard times. No, you have to endure hard times to become a strong man. Where has this philosophy gone? What has happened to men? And naturally, as men, we make mistakes. We don't do what we're supposed to do. We have no motivation, no discipline, and naturally that's going to lower the standard of women. They have to enter this masculine frame. And what you have is you have a neutral man and a neutral woman, where no arguments occur. There's just no attraction. The whole point of a dynamics of a relationship is you have a masculine man, you have a feminine woman, and the opposites attract. We don't have that anymore. We have feminist feminazis that are more masculine, and you have men that become so weak and docile. But the reason for that, the reason why we're in a society, we're in that state, I blame men. If men acted the way we're supposed to, if men acted in the way they were supposed to, this wouldn't even happen. Women would stay the way they are. Women would be in their natural feminine state. They've actually stooped to our level. We've completely dropped our guards. We've gone through this catastrophic collapse, and naturally women have had to come down to our level to reach us. They've had to stoop to our level. It's not the other way around. Don't misconstrue this. As men, we've completely capitulated and fallen. We have to rise up again. And this is part of the reason why I started this channel, is to, of course, understand that none of us are the finished article. I'm not the finished article, but we have to move on the right track. We have to embrace the struggle, embrace the adversity, and move in the right direction to become the masculine men that we're supposed to rise up again, to restore order within society. Because this is the predicament, this is the state that we're in, where men are not men and women are not women. But the reason we're there is because I blame men for that. I blame young men for that. Look at the average young guy, for fuck's sake. Look at the average young guy and tell me, and you still want to blame women. You still want to blame women. For me, women have to take blame naturally. Both genders have to take blame. But I put more of the blame and accountability to men. Because if men were disciplined, if men acted accordingly, if men were perseverant, if men didn't act like bitches, women would then remain in their natural feminine state, and you wouldn't have the society that we're currently living in. That is the truth and the reality. Smash the like button. Do you agree? Leave me your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Smash the like button, and I'll see all of you guys for my next video. Peace.